Yes.
And Cynthia, you're back with Dawn.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Cynthia, great to meet you. Thank you so much for sitting with us. So this will be your second Olympic Games. I guess it would be 8 years ago, right?
Yeah.
You were very disappointed, and that kind of gave you the fire to come back. You weren't going to allow that to be your story. Do you feel like you're fully past that, or do you need to win a medal? Do you need to do something else to say, like, okay, this decision to go all in on the Olympics, to become an Olympic athlete, it was all worth it?
I'd like to think I'm past it. It definitely wasn't an easy decision. I was very much happy with packing it up and calling it quits. I was just so disappointed and demoralized with everything that went into the decision to not, name me to that Olympic team. Ultimate success would be, getting a medal at the end of the day. I know I have it, what it takes. I have the capabilities. I'm one of the strongest pushers out there. I don't want to tie my success only to a medal, but it would help, with the story of like, hey, won a medal after it all.
In 2018, when you did make the team and you say that you were demoralized, how did you get over that to say, no, I'm going to keep going and not pack it up?
It took a lot of conversations with teammates, with former athletes, with coaches who weren't involved with the decision to not name me to that Olympic team. They had a lot of belief about my abilities. They saw me go from, barely making the team at all, like struggling to even hit our sprint standards, to working as hard as I did to just getting to that, the cusp of making that 2018 team. Maybe my story wasn't meant to be just a brakeman. It was supposed to be something more. The decision, as hard as it was, it made the most sense to switch to being a pilot, because you literally are taking control into your own hands of your career.
I know you've been asked about this before, you've talked about it before. Bobsleigh, not maybe the most diverse of Olympic sports, right? And you are a role model, a trailblazer, a pioneer. Do you still put that sort of thought in your mind? Is that an important part of your identity and who you are, or is it important not to put that pressure on your shoulders?
I kind of want to go back to the earlier part of the question. I think bobsleigh is quite a diverse sport now, especially when you look in the sphere of winter sport as a whole. You see many people of color in sport.
A long way.
It's come a long way since when I first started, and that obviously is a testament to the people that came before me that, stuck their neck out there because they believe that we have a place in sport, in all sport, and especially winter sport. There's been a lot of work that has been done to challenge a lot of the notions of what Black athletes can do in winter sport, and bobsleigh is a perfect example of that. We're starting to slowly see other sports coming on board, but one of the biggest barriers in winter sport is just financial costs. It is so much more expensive to go to a ski hill or to snowboard, to play hockey. Whatever it is, the Winter Games hasn't really been able to break through some of those financial hurdles that will block someone from either a marginalized community or a low-income socioeconomic community from entering into winter sport. Bobsleigh is one of the few where you can find inroads. It's still expensive, but there are inroads to getting to where you need to be in it. There are still people in the sport that I looked up to when I first started out that are doing just as much work, if not more, to really continue challenging the notion of what sport can look like and how sport can be successful when you allow everyone to be involved.
Who introduced you to the sport?
To be honest with you, I kind of walked into it on a whim. I remember watching Vancouver 2010 and I saw Shelly-Ann Brown. She was a Canadian brakeman on the silver medal winning team, and for me that was just like my representation of what sport can be. And so on a whim, Ontario Bobsleigh was having a test camp at my university and I decided to try it, and that's how I got into the sport.
You had never done it?
I had never done it.
Wow.
Bobsleigh is a sport where we consider it a second career sport. No one really starts it as a young kid. There's no 8 or 9-year-old junior program.
You compete in the two women, also the mono as well. Which do you prefer?
They both have their unique aspects to it. Obviously, monobob I've done better historically. There have been many reasons for that. The sleds are standardized, so there's not a big technological advantage over from one country to another. Whereas in the two women, it's quite apparent that the Germans have the best technology that money can buy. And you see that week over week. That doesn't mean that it's a foregone conclusion that a medal is not within reach, but you definitely do see the disparity between what's available when you can put money, R&D into it versus your standardized sleds.
Your parents are from Ghana. You represent Ghana as well when you compete. I know you like to have the flag front and center. How popular is bobsleigh in Ghana?
That's a great question. I don't think they know much about bobsleigh. Like even my mom now, just trying to get her to explain to her friends what I do, there's no word in our language for bobsleigh, so she just calls it my winter activities. I probably could go to Ghana right now and point a picture or show a picture of what I do, and I don't think many people would get it.
Did you, as a youngster, were you taken by the Olympic Games? Were you thinking like, oh, I'd love to be an Olympian? What was the initial Olympic dream for you?
It's quite funny because my family watched the Olympic Games. Like I remember bits about 96, Atlanta. I definitely remember Nagano, and I for sure remember 2000 Sydney. And I think Sydney was like the first summer games that I watched where I was like, oh man, this is like the coolest thing ever. But even as a youngster, playing in sports and doing all the things that I did, I never had aspirations of going to the Olympics. For some reason, there was a switch that flipped once I got into bobsleigh and I saw that the possibility was real. I love to live in a realistic world. Like as much as I want to think, I can think high floating, the sky's the limit, sometimes it's nice to be able to think, okay, realistically, what are my possibilities? And I knew that was not going to happen in Summer Olympics, but Winter Olympics, the possibility was there, and it was just like, okay, now I have aspirations of going to the Olympics, and it's going to be in bobsleigh.
Can't wait to see you perform out there. Appreciate the time.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.